These are the notes for section 5.6, Inequalities and Triangles. The objectives are we'll be able to recognize and apply properties of inequalities to the measures of angles of a triangle, and I will be able to recognize and apply properties of inequalities to the relationships between angles and sides of a triangle. So we start off with this theorem. Just like with a lot of things in this chapter, the things that we write down are going to be harder to see than whenever we actually practice it. So we're going to fill in this theorem. It says if one side of a triangle is larger than another side, then the angle opposite the larger side has a greater measure than the angle opposite the smaller side. If we want to break this down into simpler words, we would just say big angle across from big side, small angle across from small side. Like I said, this is going to be easier whenever we go through examples. So if we look at angle 1, it says list the angles, so list the angles and sides of the triangle in order from least to greatest. The thing that people oftentimes overlook is least to greatest or greatest to least. So we're going small to big, least to greatest. So the angles, we have angle A, that's 23, angle C, and angle B. Now, whenever I talk about across, so here's angle A, I just go across the triangle. We call this the opposite side. So the side that I hit is segment BC. So remember to write a segment with that little line on top, segment BC. My next smallest angle is C, 46. So my next smallest side is segment AB. And the last angle is 111 across from this, or opposite it, is segment AC. All we're doing is moving across. We do the same thing with number 2, only this time we're listing the sides and angles of the triangle from least to greatest, and this time we start off with the sides. So my smallest side is segment TU, that's the one that's 8. My next smallest side is UV, that's 10 centimeters. And finally I have TV, segment TV, which is 12 centimeters. So again, I'm going least to greatest. 8's the smallest number. So across from it is angle V. Across from 10 is angle T. And across from 12 is angle V. You should be able to do number 3 on your own. So try 3 on your own. First you have to find angle P, and then the rest should just come to you. So number 4 is a word problem. It says if the perimeter of triangle LMN is 80 feet. So let's draw a picture. We have LMN. LM is 3x minus 1. MN is 4x plus 3. And LN is 6x. Notice I draw the numbers outside the triangle because that represents segments. When I draw the numbers inside the triangle, that represents an angle. So it says find x and the length of each side. Then list the angles in order from least to greatest. Well, I have to remember something about what I'm finding. I'm finding the perimeter. The perimeter is 80. So that means I add up all of these things. So I have 3x minus 1 plus 4x plus 3 plus 6x. And I said equal to 80. Remember, the perimeter is adding up each side. and I combine like terms. 3x plus 4x plus 6x is 13x. Minus 1 plus 3, that would be plus 2, equals 80. So I subtract 2. 13x is equal to 78. Divide by 13. X is equal to 6. So when I plug these values in, I get 3 times 6 minus 1, which is 17. 6 times 6, which is 36. And 4 times 6 plus 3, which is 27. So those are my answers. 27, 17, and 36. So I've just listed the sides. I need to list the angles. So remember, I have to finish the directions. Finish the problem by reading the directions. List the angles from least to greatest. Well, my small side is 17. Across from that is angle N. My next smallest side is 27. Across from that is angle L. And finally, my biggest side is 36. Across from that is angle M. And that's it. Let's move on to the back side. Number 5 says in triangle WXY, we're given some things. So again, it helps to draw a picture. So we have W, X, and Y. And once more, I'm going to write the numbers inside this time because this is an angle measure. So I just labeled the 3 angles. It says find X in the measure of each angle, then list the sides in order from least to greatest. So find X in the measure of each angle, then list the sides in order from greatest to least. So I'll get you started on this, but I think you should do this one on your own. Remember, the 3 angles in any triangle need to add up to 180 degrees. So whenever I add up each of these, that should be the first step. And then you're just going to use the same process that you used in number 4. But remember, this time we're listing them from greatest to least. So try number 5 on your own. Number 6, we're told to list the sides in order from longest to shortest. So we want the longest side first. So we take a look at the angles. And I see I have 80 degrees. That's the biggest angle I have. And across from that is segment BD. The next angle is 60. So I can only stay in that triangle. I can't move outside of that triangle. So I have segment CD. And I have this angle 40, which is segment BC. So that's what it is on this black triangle. Now if I move on to the other triangle, the red triangle, the biggest angle here is 70. So that means the biggest side is BA. And then we have 60, which is AD. And lastly, we have 50, which is segment BD. So remember, these are greatest or longest to shortest. You should notice that you have BD twice. So what that means is after BD, we have CD and BC. So this one right here is the longest, And this one right here is the shortest. So all I did was rewrite the order. This should be your final answer in the end. Perhaps that was a little bit confusing, so let's take a look at number 7 and do that one together. So it says, identify the longest and shortest sides of the figure. Well, let's take a look. Let's start with the green triangle here. The shortest angle is 40. So my shortest side in the green triangle is segment ML. Then I have 50. That's segment LN. And remember, this is 90 degrees, so across from that is segment MN. And then I'll do this triangle in blue. My smallest angle is 30, so my smallest side, that's MN. So again, I have the same thing, MN. 70 across from that is NO. And lastly, I have 80 across from that is MO. So my longest side's MO, and my shortest side is LM, or ML. Should use ML. So this is shortest to longest. Hopefully this video helped, and as always, come to class prepared with any questions.